I weighed in at about 415, 420, and the lowest I got down to was 195.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
When I got to my heaviest was around COVID time. We had curfew. We had to be in the house by 7. Nobody could be on the road when it first started. So I would Grubhub,
Wow.
DoorDash. It was no activity level at all. And I was eating. That third day, I got on the scale and I had dropped like 10 pounds. I was like, what is going on? But when you off that fruit fast, man, or a liquid fast, I can't explain it, man, but it's one of the best feelings ever. I went like almost 2 years and I didn't get sick. I don't get sick no more. I'm like, wow, it's the fasting.
So I'm curious to know, like, what is your experience with loose skin?
Only place I have loose skin on is my.
Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching The Healthy Alternative. Today we have a special guest. Tyshawn is with us, all the way from down south. Do you guys consider it the South, or is it the East Coast? What is North Carolina?
It's gonna be more of the South.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say more of the South. It's Southeast, but we more closer to the South.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
listen, man. I'm from Ohio, and they call it the Midwest, which makes no sense to me. So I always get confused. To be honest with you. But yeah, man, we're gonna be getting into your health and wellness journey. You know, the weight loss, the struggle, the addiction, everything. So if you guys are interested in hearing his story, that's coming up next. All right, brother. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for reaching out. You know, I'm always looking to share people's testimonial, their story. And like I mentioned earlier, from what I've seen so far from you, you've accomplished something great. So I appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me, man.
It's my pleasure. So what I like to do kind of to kick our interviews off is just kind of briefly highlight some of the benefits that you've gained from your wellness journey.
Okay.
Obviously, the weight loss is going to be a big highlight, but in addition to the weight loss, just briefly touch on what are some of the things that you've actually gained from, you know, doing this.
Man, absolutely. Well, of course, like you said, weight loss. Another thing is just going to be overall mental health. It improved my mental health. It got me out of depression. It boosted my confidence. And just overall health, man. Like the way I move around. I'm not lazy anymore. My energy, I'm like a vibrant higher than I did before. When I look back at certain things I used to do and decisions I used to make, like it wouldn't be things that I would do now. So weight loss, it plays a part in all of those things, man. Not only I did it to, you know, lose weight and to get healthy, but so a lot more other things came along with it. Like the things I just mentioned, for sure.
Yeah, the
Yes,
non-scale
sir.
victories.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How much weight did you end up losing?
In total, so the lowest I've gotten down to was about 194, 195. And if I could put exact number, because I didn't get a scale, I didn't purchase a scale that weighed me over 400. So I never know my weight until like my second week into my journey. So if I had to put a guess on it, I would say I probably had to been about 415, 420. And the lowest I got down to was 195. So my first year, I had got down to, well, I started April 2021. In April 2022, I weighed in at about 230. So I lost about a $180 in that $175, $180 in that first year. Yep. So in total, I say 95 to 395. I probably lost about 230 in total.
Yeah, man, that's
Yes,
crazy.
sir. Yeah.
That's crazy. I think, man, like, first of all, it's so crazy to think that you were ever over 400 pounds because you know what I'm saying? Like, you look good. You don't look like you ever were ever that big. And you know, a lot of people, they got battle wounds from being that size.
For sure.
So we definitely got to talk about how you lost the weight, because it looks like you did it in a very efficient way.
Absolutely.
But, you know, being over 400 pounds, man, it takes, that's not, people, we listen, in America, we're overweight. We know that.
Right.
But when you get to that 400, 500 pound range, it's like, that's different. So what I want to talk about a little bit is a little bit of your history.
For sure.
Have you always been bigger? How do you think you got to the size you were?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So after really like investigating my past and growing up and all of that, I always said, man, how did I get here? And then what came to my mind, or what I realized, was it was the diet, it was the overeating, it was the food addiction. Because I always
Mm,
was active. I was in sports growing up. All my friends was active. We used to play outside. I played sports. I was one of the big guys that could like keep up with like the skinnier guys. So I was like, wow, how did I like never lose weight? So I used to always think,
mm,
dang, it was my genes, which genes does play a huge part. But it was like, wow, after I would exercise or after practice, what was I eating? Eating fast
mm,
foods, burgers. Even after eating on what my mom would prepare, I would still try to go back and get some more. Or I was just overeating and out eating, like my peers and stuff like that. So that's how I got to, that weight over time, just overeating and just being addicted to food, eating when you're even full.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's my history, man. It was the food. It was the food addiction is how I got to where I got to.
Now,
Absolutely.
did you play? You played like football or?
Yeah, I played basketball and football growing up. I used to play outside a lot, bikes, walking. I went to summer camp each summer, so I always was active in exercise and just in the sports and things like that. So I played
Hmm.
football and basketball from middle school all the way up until high school till I graduated.
Okay.
Yep.
And so when did you? Was there a time when your weight you know kind of catapulted? Like was it just a slow progression? Just kind of every year you're putting on 10 pounds, whatever the case is, or was there a time when your weight like really shot up?
Absolutely. So yeah, each year it will kind of come. It will kind of I would kind of put it on over time, but when it really got on me was when I graduated high school and I stopped playing
Mm,
sports. When I went
okay.
to
Okay.
college, I put on mad weight at college. The partying, the eating in the calf, unlimited food. With my addiction to food, when I got to college, and I was like, wow, we can go to the calf 3 times a day and it's a buffet. And I'm like partying on the weekend. So that's when I put on the most weight was
Mm,
going to college. But recently when I got to my heaviest was around COVID time. I
okay.
started working from home. I wasn't exercising. I don't know where if you guys did where y'all from, but we had curfew. We had to be in the house by 7. Nobody could be on the road when it first started. So I would Grubhub,
Wow.
DoorDash. Yeah. So I was like, wow, I wasn't active. I wasn't moving. The only movement I was doing was from my bedroom to my desk at work to get my food. I might would leave
Hmm.
here and there, but it was no activity level at all. And I was eating like constantly, man. So that's when I put on the most weight was COVID. That's when I got past 400 pounds originally.
Ah, okay.
Yep, that's what
Yeah.
did it.
See, that makes sense because like
Yep,
I talk to a lot of like ex athletes. You
right.
know what I mean? Like they played high school, they played college, and what I noticed, I mean, my brother Steve, he played football. He was like a star center at his
Wow.
school,
Yep,
and the way that they teach you to eat, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're especially if you're already bigger, like it's good to put on that size for the game, but it's not good for
right.
your health. And then of course, once you stop playing, it's a wrap because
Oh,
they never taught you healthy habits. Like the habits are poor, and
yep,
then the exercise is just kind of keeping you, pretty decent. And
right.
then after that it goes out the window. You talk about the first year of college or whatever case it was, man, that freshman 15 that
Oh
everybody
man.
I remember that, man.
Yes, sir.
Um, but yeah, so it basically just kind of creeped up on you.
It
But
did.
like you also mentioned your mom, she did like cook. She cooked
Yes.
home cooked meals, like
She did.
so.
She did.
Okay.
She used to cook home cooked meals, and actually, my mom went on a weight loss journey when I was about, I want to say about 6 or 7 years old, maybe. And she
Uh-huh.
lost mad weight, and she was trying to put me on it. But when you're that young, you're not understanding. So she
Yeah.
tried. My mom tried a lot, man. I tell her all the time, like, thank you for at least trying. But it was just one of those things that I just loved food. I was just addicted to food and I just couldn't like thinking back then. I was like, wow, I was overeating even after you full, like just stuff
Yeah.
like that, snacking, just being overall just being greedy, like the glutton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which
Gluttony. Yeah.
I kind of still struggle with it a little bit here and there, not as much because I come in control of the mental aspect and the
Mm-hmm.
relationship with it, but it's still kind of there a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
yep,
mean, and I'm sure you still, you're still in the early stages.
oh
You
yeah,
got a lot more progress to make.
for sure.
Not necessarily physically, I don't know what your goals are physically, but
Hmm.
the mental aspect of it. And one of the most difficult parts of the wellness journey is sustaining it.
Yep,
You know what I mean? So learning habits that are going to be sustainable. But I mean, you're off to an amazing start. You've
yes
made
sir.
some 230, 200. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it
So
is.
we're going to kind of start getting more into the meat and potatoes of it.
Okay.
Um, so when did you actually decide, okay, I'm gonna do something about my weight?
Okay, so this last weight loss journey attempt, I had multiple of them
Okay.
since I've been in middle school. I always try, even since a kid when mom first tried, I would succeed at it. But what I was doing, like I said before, I would work out and do the exercise part, but I never
Hmm.
understood that diet until this last weight loss journey attempt. So
Okay.
which helped me out a lot. So like I said, I started April 2021, and it was the 6th. It was going into the 7th. So it was the 6th, man. I had just finished eating. I remember like it was yesterday. I had just finished eating Zaxby's and McDonald's. And I was in the bed, like bloated, like in the bed, sluggish, like ready to get some of that coma sleep after you eat a lot. And I was like,
Yeah.
man, it's time, man. So I went on Planet Fitness and I started a membership, and I said, I'm going tomorrow morning. And
Mm,
that whole night, man, I was just meditating and thinking to myself, like, man, how did I keep failing? Like, what was it? And I was like, wow, I've always done the work, and it was the diet. I was like, bro, you got to stay consistent and be disciplined with your diet. So this was how this time helped out for me. And so going into that gym the next morning, when I'm getting up, I'm like, man, here we go. So when I first got to the gym, I hopped on a treadmill, sweating beads, shin splints, knee pains, back pains, all of that. So I was like, okay, just keep showing up. But when you leave here, bro, you know, stay consistent and be disciplined on your diet. So when I got home, I worked from home still. So when I worked from home, I was like, wow, I didn't even know like I was gonna even be doing fasting or one meal a day yet. It kind of just happened. Like everything I learned and did during my journey, it was just happening. And then I would research it. Dang, is this healthy? What is this called? Oh,
mm,
this is called fasting. Well, I'm not drinking because I'm not hungry. What is that called? That's dry fasting. What's the benefits of dry fasting? How long can I do it? So
mm,
when I would leave the gym in the morning, I would come home and I would start my work. I haven't eaten anything. Um, and as I work, I'm like, wow, I'm not even really that hungry. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. So come lunchtime, I go outside and I just start walking, doing push-ups on my knees. I'm like, wow, I'm still not hungry. So that's when I
mm,
looked up and started learning about fasting and the benefits of it and things like that. So I was like, wow, I wonder, can I go through my whole shift, as long as I don't have food in my house, can I make it through my whole shift without eating or ordering food? So I made it. And then when I got off of work, that's when the part started to come to, okay, now what are you going to eat? Don't
right.
binge, like, and things like that. So I went to Jersey Mike's and I used to get the turkey and provolone sub, and I would get some kettle chips. And that's when I counted the calories in it. I was like, wow, okay, this sub is about little over 1,000, if that, and then the chips is 220 calories. So I'm like, wow, that's only like I'm only going 1,500 calories, and it's filling me up. So I'm like, dang, I wonder, can I keep doing this the next day and the next day, and then that turned into like, dang, I'm fasting. And I looked it up. Dang, you eating one meal a day. I looked up one meal a day benefits. I was like, wow, bro, this is really actually easy. Like, just keep going. So when I got on the scale that third day, I got on the scale and I had dropped like 10 pounds. I was like, what is going on? Like, and
Mm,
I could kind of tell. I was like, what is going on? Well, I don't know how I take that back. I don't know how much weight I weighed until I got under 400. So each day I was like, wow, what's going on? Like I started seeing the scale go to overload. Then it was trying to scale with the 399 overload 399. So it was doing that for probably about, after that first week, it started doing that. So then going
okay.
into the middle of my second week is when I hit 390, when it started doing that 399 overload 399. I was like, wow, I'm getting close to 399, bro. So the beginning of my third week, I hopped on that scale after working out that Monday, and it was 397. And ever since
Mm.
then, man, that's what kept me going. I was like, wow, let's go, let's go. Like I'm here, I'm here. So each day I kept doing the old man, weighing myself. Each day I would weigh myself after the gym, after the shower, before I would start work. And it was like 2 pounds a day, 3 pounds. I was like, what is going on? So I come to find out I was losing water weight. It wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily fat, it was the water weight that was coming off. And then I started losing fat, and then it just started going from there. I know I went all over the place right there, but yeah,
No,
man,
you good.
yeah,
I,
that's how it started happening, man. So it was the 1 meal a day, and it was the fasting.
that's what's
It's
up,
how I
man.
lost weight. Yep, yep. So I didn't plan to do it. It just kind of one of those things. I just started doing it, and I would research alone. Like, what is this? I'm not drinking. I'm not eating. That's dry fasting. What does dry fasting do? It increases the metabolism, helps with tightening up loose skin. It helps build muscle. I'm like, well, how am I building muscle if I'm not eating or drinking? It's because you're eating protein in your meals. And I was like,
Mm.
wow, yeah. So I was just researching and going along the way, man. And that's pretty much how it kicked off.
Yeah, that's interesting
Yep.
because it was basically intuitive,
Yep. It
you know.
was.
And like the thing that I've learned is, man, we have way more knowledge. So like
Yep.
you talked about genetics earlier,
Right.
but the genes is information, you know, and the way that your body like reads or interprets that information, that's another thing. We kind of
Right.
can manipulate that, but um you basically have the knowledge of your forefathers in your DNA. And so you might be thinking, oh, I'm just kind of doing whatever,
Yep.
but you don't realize you're actually being guided by like, something deeper that you might not be fully aware of at the time.
Right.
Because like my wellness journey, um, it was almost like somebody laid out like a roadmap for me.
For
But
sure.
it was similar to you. I wasn't doing like random stuff and then researching it.
Hmm.
I just started doing stuff, and then something new that would help me understand or help bolster what I was doing would come. It was like the next step I'd do something and the next step would just come. It
Right.
was just like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So we actually we aren't really designed to eat every day.
Facts.
Modern science tells us, you're supposed to eat every day, 3 times a day, whatever. But in actuality, we're not really designed to eat 3 times. Like there's no creature that eats as much as we do. There might be like some bugs or something, but like the amount of food that we ingest, um, we're the only ones that do that.
Yep.
And so we're out of alignment with nature. So the motivate, first of all, kudos to you, because like a lot of times when people can't see what's going on a scale,
Hmm.
that'll be discouraging.
It
Like
was,
I've
man.
had people tell me like, Chris, the scale's not moving, blah blah blah. I mean, you said you figured it was moving, but you didn't know.
I
You
didn't
weren't
know.
able to, you
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep. It
So
kept.
you had actually dedicated 3 weeks
Yep.
to doing this before you could see the progress, which is crazy.
Facts. Yep. Yep.
So people are probably going to be wondering, like, what was your exercise routine like? You remind me of Jared. You remember Jared from the Subway commercials?
Yeah, man. If I can go
You
back.
talking about
Yep. Yep.
Jersey Mike's?
Yep. I
Um,
did Jersey Mike's probably that first month until I got down to about 360. And then I started
mhm,
cooking my own meals and stuff at home. I started going with the chicken and vegetables on the side, salmon,
mm,
steak here and there, and things like that. But chicken wings and boneless chicken breasts, that was like my favorite, and vegetables on the side, man. That's what I would go with. Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you season it up, right? Or would
Oh
you?
yeah, I did. The only thing I
Okay,
used to put on it was pink Himalayan salt and black pepper. That's it.
okay,
Sometimes I would
got
do teriyaki here and there or garlic parm here and there, but on a regular day it would just be pink Himalayan salt and black pepper. Yes, sir.
okay.
Yep.
We're gonna get back into that. But what was your exercise routine like?
Yeah, man. So my first couple of months in the gym, I would go in there, I would hop on the treadmill, either the treadmill, the elliptical, or the stairmaster. So when I first started off, it would be the treadmill, and I would go as long as I could, man, till I couldn't go no more. I never put like a cap on, like, okay, I'm gonna do 2 miles, or okay, today I'm gonna do a mile. I would always
Hmm.
do as much as I could do in that time
Okay.
frame. So it would be anywhere. One day it could be 45 minutes, only a mile. Because when I was first starting off, I could only walk. And I started putting it to incline. And then that's when it really would take me a long time to get to a mile because the speed was so low. So I would just break a
Mm-hmm.
sweat. So I don't know the exact miles or what I was doing. I never looked at it. I used to just go until, okay, that's good. That's enough. I'm drenched in sweat. And then I would go to the crunch machine and I would just burn out on crunches. I hadn't started doing any weight training yet. It would just be either treadmill, elliptical, stairmaster, and then crunches. That's it every day for like the month and a half, first month and a half, and then I started doing strictly stairmaster, and that's when I could say the results really started to come off because that stairmaster, like the
Yeah.
first minute in, I'm sweating beads, and I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
so I can only do 15 to 20 minutes of stairmaster, and I'm burning 4 or 5 more times more than what I'm doing on the treadmill until I started
Mm-hmm.
learning more about elliptical. So yeah, that was my exercise routine, man. I'll probably be in there about an hour and a half. I would get as much cardio done and I would burn out on crutches. And I got down to on my own, I got down to about I want to say about 340, 340, 350-ish. And then I joined a gym called Rock Box, where you would do boxing on one side and training on weight training on the other side. And I started
Okay.
with them at about 350. That's only a 55-minute class. You go in there, you box for 20 minutes, and the other side you do your weight training for 25, 20 minutes. And then at the end we would do a burner. So they helped me out a lot. I probably got down from 350 down to about I want to say about 280 with them. So I lost about
Mm-hmm.
close to a good 60 to 75 pounds with them. And then I picked it back up on my own. And why I had to do rock boxes because that I kind of lost that drive. I was like, oh man, I started skipping days here and there. I still stayed with the OMAD though, but I was like, I would go in
Mm-hmm.
the gym and I would start like half-assing it and I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And I came into a
Mm-hmm.
plateau. I was standing between like 360, 365. I was like, oh man, I'm about to join the gym. So the reason how that gym helped me is because I was paying for it. And the classes was like 199 for the month. So I was like, bro, if you paying $200, I gotta show up. So that's how
Yeah.
that helped me out because I'm paying $200. Like I paid for like 3 months in advance. It was like $599, something like that, or $499.
Mm.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, if I'm paying for it, I gotta go now. So that helped me hold myself accountable because I didn't have like nobody. I didn't have like no group chat. I didn't have like people checking in on me saying, yo, like how you doing? I didn't have none of that. So I was like kind of in it by myself. And I kind of put
Mm-hmm.
myself in that situation too, because I kind of isolated and went through like solitude during that period because I didn't want no distractions. So that's pretty
Okay.
much why I didn't really have a support system. But yeah, when I
Yeah.
joined them, man, that was my workout routine. I would either do the morning classes from 6 to 6:55, or I would do the evening classes from either 5:30 to 6:45, or the 6:50 to 7:35 class or something like that. But I was doing it every day, like 6 to 7 days out the week. And then even when I was working out on my own at Planet Fitness, I was working out 6 to 7 times a week. And
Okay.
even when I half-assed or went in there and didn't do what I was supposed to do, I still showed up. Like I never went a day without at least going in there and trying something. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that was my workout routine, man. I did it on my own till I got down to about 360 cardio crunches. Then I picked up a rock box and started doing boxing and weight training for 50 to 55 minutes a day. Got down from to about 280, 275. Then went back to Planet Fitness, and that's when I started doing 30 to 45 minutes of cardio, straight elliptical treadmill or stairmaster. And then I would go to these weight training machines and hit burnout on each thing. I never like let no part of my muscle rest. That's how I like got like so like cut up a little bit because each day I
Mm-hmm.
would do it was pec flies, chest press, rows, and lat pull downs from the Planet Fitness machine. I would do hit all
Okay.
those four. I never rested in between. I would hit all those four back to back as many times as I could each day. So I was
Mm.
doing weight training every day, and that's how I kind of like cut up some. So that was my workout routine. Still doing all
Yeah.
that. Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, well, plus you was getting like well, see the thing about OMAD
Hmm.
is it's a more powerful technique than like intermittent fasting.
Oh yeah.
So you're getting the benefit of autophagy, you're getting the benefit of, ketones, you're getting the benefit of um basically the human growth hormone
Right.
and like being able to rebuild.
Yep.
So yeah, and I don't know if you knew that at the time, but
Didn't. I had no
with what
clue.
the combining them two things is super powerful, and
Yep.
it's pretty popular with like the fitness trainers. I mean, like professional
It is.
bodybuilders and stuff like that. They now understand how they could use that,
Right.
as a tool.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes to show you that like everybody wants like what's the specific thing I need to be doing. It's like your journey was so intuitive and your results are so incredible. It's like,
Yes, sir.
sometimes you just got to do what works for you.
Absolutely.
um Holding yourself accountable is in my mind like that key, because even though you're saying, okay, I wasn't doing everything I should have been doing at the gym, I
Yep.
still went.
Still
So
winning.
keeping that momentum, and then also you recognize, okay, I'm getting lazy, I
Yep.
need some assistance.
Yep.
So you invest it in yourself, right? And then that investment shook things up. You boxing, I'm sure that was fun, you
Man,
know what
it
I mean?
was. It was fun.
So it's not the same monotonous, boring. You having fun now.
Yep.
Maybe you have some relationships, people you see. What up? You know what I mean? And so that accountability is important.
For sure.
And I would actually say, like, if people out there listening and you are out there by yourself and you are struggling, like find someone or something to help keep you accountable.
For
Like
sure.
that's one of the reasons why we created our community, is for people, like-minded people, to come. Because like the question is, why did you isolate yourself? Like
Right.
what was it about either your friends or your lifestyle
Hmm.
that was going to detract from your wellness journey?
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
So yeah, I isolated myself because no one understood. I never had like overweight friends. Like all my friends was always in shape. I had a couple of overweight friends, but not that I grew up with. Like my day one friends or people that I'm around every day, they didn't have the same problem I had. So when I kind of transitioned to make that change, like people really didn't understand. They didn't understand. I can't go to the bar tonight because I'm gonna drink and get out of my caloric deficit. And when I leave the
Mhm.
bar, I'm gonna take some food to go. I can't do that.
Yep.
That's gonna knock off the past. If I go to the bar Friday night, what I did Wednesday and Thursday, that's gonna be gone if I go and have some beers, a couple of
Hmm.
shots, and food. So if you couldn't relate to that, I couldn't be around you because you wouldn't
Yeah.
understand why I'm doing it. And that's really what drove me to want to be successful, because all the people that not cut off, but that I kind of fell back from, I wanted them to see later on, like, dang, bro, I see why you had to, I get it now. Dang, you made it
Mhm.
happen. Versus if I wouldn't have made this transformation, I had to make sacrifices, which was losing friends, relationships, cutting people off. So I didn't want to do those things for no reason, like miss hanging out with friends, or you know, cut off like maybe a chick that I'm dealing with at the time. All kind of those
Yeah.
things can play a part. And I never wanted to make those sacrifices and not succeed at why I made the sacrifices. Like come back around, oh, he never lost weight, or he never succeed, or he cut us off for no reason, or dang, he failed,
Right.
make changes. So those were the sacrifice I had to make. And that's why I had to isolate. And anything can throw you off. People wouldn't be doing it intentionally, but it could just be how it would align up. Like I know,
Mhm.
like whenever you're trying to make a change, it's always something gonna try to pull you down or bring you back to how you was before. And I just didn't want
Yep.
to leave any room for error, because that's how I would fail before. I would still try to do what I do and go out. Now I can, because I'm at the point to where I know what and what not to do. But in the beginning stages, I couldn't go to the bar and say, "No, I'm not going. I'm just gonna hang out, y'all. I'm not gonna have a drink, or I'm not gonna eat no fried foods." I didn't have that willpower then, but now I got the
Hmm.
willpower now, and I can indulge in those things a little bit. I got some leeway now, so I can get back into
Right.
doing those things. But that's why I had to isolate myself, man. I didn't want no distractions. And it's like when I isolated myself, I was like actually tapped in with myself. Like it was
Mm.
no distractions. It was nothing that could throw me off. It wasn't no like wasted energy. All my energy and time was into myself. And I needed every little bit of that, man, to get to where I got to. I needed everything. I needed all my
Yeah.
energy to go into me. Yeah. So that's why I had to isolate and be into solitude mode.
Hey, that it makes sense.
Yep, for sure.
Like when I went through my journey, I
Mhm.
isolated. I have a very tight core group of
Right.
friends. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So it's probably like 4 people that I still interacted with at that time.
Right.
But really, it was just my brother because we were doing it at the same time.
See, that's
So
dope. That's
uh,
dope.
yeah, it was, man. Listen, when I tell you it was beneficial,
Yeah.
it's like it's because especially when you're experiencing things, because I know you're like doing stuff, you're experiencing it, you're going on the internet, you're like, boom, what is this? What is that?
Yep.
So at the time when me and my brother had started, like fasting wasn't what it is.
Right.
Like, OMAD and intermittent fasting was probably the most you could learn about.
Right.
But like we were doing long-term fasting, and of course there was books, but it wasn't like YouTubers talking about it, like channels, communities built out. Like it just didn't have the popularity. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm talking to my brother, like, hey, are you experiencing this? Are you experiencing that? And I mean, we just learned so much.
Right.
But the way that you lost your weight and the way that you did your journey also affords you a knowledge base that you can now teach from,
It did.
because number one, you experienced it firsthand. And number two, like you weren't following someone else's playbook.
Right.
You blazed your own trail, right?
I did.
So you learned stuff that you wouldn't have necessarily picked up on had you been like reading a book or
Facts.
just kind of following somebody else's advice
Yep.
blindly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how I would fail before, because when I would even try to get information from people, the people I was getting information from never came from what I came from. Like
Right.
you can't really train. Some personal trainers are good, but you can't really train or be informative if you've never been where they were, unless you really do research. So you have people saying, no, don't fast. Your body gonna retain the weight, or no, you gotta eat 3 or 4 times a day. I'm like, what about somebody that has a food addiction? What if when they eat their 3 or 4 meals a day, they're still overeating? We
Yeah.
don't have the willpower to say, okay, I'm gonna eat a 6 ounce piece of chicken, 2 cups of broccoli for lunch. No, we want 18 to 20 ounces of chicken and 4 or 5 cups of broccoli. And then for breakfast, we might have about 4 eggs, 5 pieces of bacon. So we don't have the willpower starting off to eat 2 pieces of bacon, 2 eggs for breakfast, lunch, a small salad, and dinner, 8 ounce piece of fish or chicken and broccoli. Like that's probably beneficial that way. But when you're addicted to food, you can't do that, man. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
So that's how the fasting worked for me, because even if I chose a day where I wanted to overeat, to me, it's still going to be under 2,000 calories. So I'm still going to be at a caloric deficit. So that's how the
Hmm.
fasting worked for me. I was like, wow, that leaves me to, okay, even if let's say if I wanted to go get like, let's say if I wanted to go get something like, 12 hot wings or something and a salad on the side, or, things like that. And if I wanted to eat all 12, yeah, I'm going to feel full, but I'm still in my deficit because that's the only meal I ate that day. And there's protein in
Right.
the chicken. It might be kind of fattening because it's deep fried, but sometimes you need fat to burn fat. So it was things like that helped me out
Hmm.
for sure. Yes, sir.
So throughout this process, what was the longest fast you did?
The longest fast I did, so each day I would go whatever time I ate that day, I wouldn't eat until that
Mhm.
same time the next day so I can get the full 24 hours. But I
Okay.
started doing fruit fasts when I got to about mm, closer to the lower 300s. I started adding in 48 to 72 hour fruit fasts or smoothie fasts just to kind of break my plateaus and stuff like that. And man,
Hmm. Yeah.
that's when I would feel the best. Like I wish I could go 30 to 40 days like doing just fruits, because people think you won't have energy. You have energy like never before. It's just a
Hmm.
different aura. You can't. It's hard to explain because you really got to go through it. I'm pretty sure but when you off that fruit fast, man, or a liquid fast, it's like I don't know. I can't explain it, man. But it's one of the best feelings ever. It's the best
Yeah.
feeling ever. So the longest I've ever went off of fruit or liquid fast will be 48 to 72 hours.
Okay.
Yep,
So
40 to 72 hours.
that's a good reference. The feeling
Mhm.
you talking about, I call it the Goldilocks zone.
Man,
Uh, it's funny because I actually been doing. We have a challenge called the R72.
that's
So
dope.
it's a rolling three day fast, right?
Yep,
So we'll fast for 3 days. We eat for a day. Today is my eat day. tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, I'm right back into fasting.
That's dope.
And that's basically how I've been feeling the whole time.
Wow, man.
And
Amazing.
you know, and but like I'm testing, I've been testing this new supplement that one
Hmm.
of our affiliates has, and it's incredible. Like
Wow.
it's a game changer. So I'm actually planning to like we're probably gonna do some 21-day fast and things like that.
Hmm.
Use the supplement because it's great for breaking plateaus when you do the OMAD,
For
or if you're
sure.
doing like I would say if you're doing less than 3 days of fasting, it's easy to plateau for long durations.
It
Like
is.
you're not experiencing a real plateau, not like the type of plateau you experience on traditional weight loss,
Hmm.
but you're going to get used to seeing. You mentioned earlier, you know, at the beginning, you're losing a pound, 2 pounds a day.
Right.
So you get used to that. So then
Yep.
if your weight doesn't move for a week, you're like, whoa, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
So, but autophagy is a very important part for people to remember. So like you don't want that loose skin. So when you're fasting, sometimes you won't lose weight, but your skin will be tightening,
That's it.
and it'll just look like plateauing.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you'll be increasing your muscle percentage.
exactly.
Yep.
Especially if you're working out.
Yep. For
I
sure.
mean, the way that you did it. So this was over the course of what, 2 years
Two
or
years. So each April it will make a year. So I started April
okay,
2021. Yep, yep.
okay,
And I still do the same thing. Like sometimes I would get, undisciplined on my diet, but I still hit the gym. So it'll kind of keep offsetting, or I kind of be
yep,
doing like the yo-yo thing. But
hmm,
yeah, man. So the first 2 years though, was straight discipline, no cheat days, hardly. But now I
yeah,
kind of cheat here and there just to kind of have a healthy relationship with
balance,
food. Yeah, just to have that
yeah.
balance and that
Mhm.
moderation and things like that. Yep.
I think when people deal with food addiction, I think it's
Mhm.
important to once you get to your spot, it's like you got to learn that moderation
You do.
because you can't run from food forever.
You
You know what I'm
can't.
saying?
You can't.
So,
You can't.
um, what was your detox symptoms like though on this? Like you're exercising, you're doing the OMAD. Did you experience any significant detox symptoms?
Man, what I can say, I didn't experience anything that's like off the top or anything drastic, which
Mm,
was it was so shocking to me because I was like, wow, is this how we are supposed to live? Like the
mm,
only thing I can say I would experience on a fruit fast, and even still to this day when I do it, is just I don't get good sleep because like your body don't have nothing to it break down, so you kind of just up. So when you
right. You
fall
don't get
asleep,
that coma.
you don't get that food coma. So that's the only thing I struggle with. That's really why I can't do it long term, is
Mm,
because I can't get like good rest sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't get you because you can't sleep. It's hard to really sleep when you just empty completely like off of fast. So that's the
Yeah.
only thing I can say that I struggle with. But other than that, man, nothing at all. Nothing other than me just not being able to get, a lot of rest when I'm doing it.
Okay.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
Yeah, we call that fasted energy, man.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. That's
yeah,
it. That's it, man.
yeah. I'm a night owl, so
Mhm.
for me, like I embrace it. So, but it gets crazy. Like, one time I was fasting, but I do a lot of it like testing with different supplements and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And I was using this supplement. It's called Zero In,
Wow.
and Zero In it gives you access to like the body's natural chemistry. So like if you want to produce more melatonin to go to sleep, you could do that. But you
Right.
have to like consciously. It's like a conscious. I want to go to sleep,
Right. Right.
but the body will basically give you the energy or whatever to do whatever you want. And
Right.
so I'm a night owl. I like staying up. So Zero In would give me the extra energy.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I could just stay up.
Yep.
So like the first time I took it, I was up for like a day.
Oh
You know
wow.
what I mean? Just
Yeah.
working.
That's dope.
Like just
Yeah,
working.
you have a lot of energy when you're on that fast, man. People think it
Yeah.
does start. One time I did become fatigued on like the third day because I was working out twice a day though. So I was really like
Hmm.
taking it there. That's the only time. And another thing that happened one time in the earlier stages when I would fast, if I would get up too quick and try to like move, like let's say if I'm sitting down like how we are, if I get up and
Hmm.
just start walking like quick, I would kind of get
Hmm.
lightheaded just a little bit. But
Yeah.
what I learned is when you fasting, when you stand up, you gotta like wait. like a couple of seconds before you get going, just to let your blood
Yeah.
and stuff flow. So that's one of the things that I was experiencing too. I forgot to mention
Okay.
that. Yep, yep, yep,
I even experienced that on my you know what I'm saying, my
yep,
R72.
yep,
Usually day 3
yep.
is when it kind of starts kicking in for
It
me.
does, yeah, for
But
sure,
yeah. Listen, man, that level of consistency that you've had is
man.
admirable
Yep,
because you like three with you topping out at 3 days, you weren't doing like a lot of long-term fasting.
right.
And the short-term fasting is incredible,
For
but
sure.
it takes an enormous amount of discipline to continue to see progress with that because you don't lose weight as fast. You
Right.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. That's true.
But what I think was for you, maybe one of the keys, and you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong,
Hmm.
is by going about it that way and creating that discipline. Now that you're like not like actively looking to lose a whole bunch of weight, the maintenance a little bit more sustainable. Like you're not yo-yoing, like
So
the drastic yo-yos.
yeah, I just started doing drastic yo-yos recently. Like the longer I
Okay.
get into my journeys, when it is kind of becoming tougher, because what I
Okay.
started doing wrong, which I wasn't doing before, like when I was losing weight, like the first 2 years, when I would fast or come off a fast, I would break it, discipline. I
Mm.
wouldn't eat big portions. I would have like a small salad, smoothie, work my way back into the meat. But this past year is when I kind of struggled the most. I'm becoming more of like when I come off my fast, I was wanting to like go crazy on the food. So
Yeah.
that's when I started doing the yo-yo. Like I got up
Okay.
to recently, I had got it back up to close to about 247, 250. And I could see it. And I
Hmm.
was like, dang, it's because when you're breaking your fast or when you're breaking your OMAD fast, you're overeating. You're back overeating again. So
Yeah.
that's when I recently started doing like big yo-yoing recently. Yep, yep.
Okay.
But I come in control of it now. And that's what helps me not get out of control is the fast. I know how to fast. If I never
Hmm.
know about OMAD 1 meal a day or about fasting, I probably would have been put all my weight back on for sure. But
Right.
by me knowing how to fast and by me knowing the benefits of fasting, fasting is how I'm able to maintain, man.
Mm.
Because if I go
Well,
like,
I mean,
mhm.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I said, because if I go like a week or 2 weeks of unhealthy eating, but still doing my OMAD. If I put on like let's say I put on about 10 pounds in those 2 weeks, I start off that Monday with a 3-day fruit fast and then go back into my OMAD with eating. It's like a
Yeah.
balance thing. So versus if I didn't know how to fast, I probably would have been and put it back on. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
So fasting helps me
Because it comes
balance
back on quick.
quick, quick, man, quick. That's what
Yeah.
I learned for sure. So the
There,
fast.
there's so the evolution, man, of the journey and everything you're learning, and this is
Mhm.
what I was talking about earlier. This is going to be what helps to afford you that ability to teach
It
because you're going to
does.
learn all these nuances. But like what I learned was, um, I call it the dark side of the wellness journey,
Right,
especially when it comes to fasting. So like when you start fasting, it cleans your body up so well. All of
man.
the natural defense mechanisms that your body would typically have in place, like if you
Mhm.
was consistently drinking, smoking, eating poor food,
Right.
those defenses are down. So you actually become more sensitive when you take poor actions, like
Right.
especially if you're coming off of a fast. So we're talking like the refeed.
Right.
You actually will gain more. Your body will hyperreact because the
Yeah.
mucus is not there.
Yep.
Like the body is not used to taking in that toxicity, and it's
Yep.
actually you're training it to be ready to absorb nutrients. So
Yep.
then if you go ahead and give it something toxic, it hyperreacts, and
It
so
does.
that's where a lot of the yo-yoing comes from. But it's good that you're paying attention. You know what I mean? Like
I do.
you're not allowing yourself to get too far out of bounds because then it becomes hard to do that all over again.
It do. It do, man. And then when I do get back into the fasting and eating healthy, it comes back off quick. It comes back
Right.
off quick too. So that's why it is like a yo-yo. It's like, okay, when I do fast and eat good, and then I start eating bad, it'll I can put it back on. But then if I shake back and get back into the fasting and the 1 meal a day and being disciplined on my diet, it comes off quick. So it's like, okay,
Mm,
it's like a balance type of thing, man. So, but yeah, the fasting
yeah.
is a game changer, man. If you know how to fast, whether if it's liquid fast, fruit fast, or 1 meal a day, but you still make you do still do clean eating with the OMAD, you can maintain the weight and you can lose weight for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Fasting was a life changer, man.
Have you like, do you have in your mind, because I know you mentioned you like to do like a long-term juice thing. Have you ever considered doing either long-term water, like more than 3 days, or even dry fasting?
I have. So the longest longest I did dry fasting for was the 24 hours. Like during my journey, I would go. So when I ate, if I whatever I ate or drunk, whether if it was 7 or 8 p.m. that night, I wouldn't eat or drink until that next day at 7. So that's as long as I used to dry fast was 24 hours. I've never did a dry fast longer than 24 hours, but a liquid fast I got to going into the third day. So about I'll say about the 60th hour mark. So
Mm-hmm.
between 60 and 70. But it was just something I do a lot of weight training. So I think for me to want to do
Okay.
the water fast, I can't work out. And I want to try that, but I like to do my weight training just to keep to keep this stay toned up and stuff like that. So that's and I be
Yeah.
needing my protein in me. So that's why I can't go long term. But one day, man, I'm wanting to do it, man. I'm really
Mm-hmm.
wanting to do it for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the aesthetic, man, yeah,
Yep,
fasting's definitely going to make you look a little small. It's going to cut you up. But
it is.
one thing that me and my brother found out, so my brother John, he's a fitness trainer, certified fitness
Okay.
trainer. Now he started off at I don't, man, I'd be forgetting their numbers now. My
Yeah.
upwards 300s, right? I
Okay.
think.
That's dope.
So he was fasting. He was doing what we call the 5-2, where you fast for 5 days and then you eat on the weekends, or you eat twice a day, but you eat back to
Wow.
back. And he would do like a little juice. You know what I'm saying? He would supplement, so he would do a little juice on his fast days. But he was actually getting his certification during that time.
That's
So they're going to the gym, they're working out, and my brother's pacing everybody in the class.
wow.
And they're like, and they know he's fasting because he talks about it openly. He didn't care. Like, he was just, telling them. And they're like, bro, how are you doing this?
Yep.
How are you lifting this weight and you ain't ate in 3 days? How is your, and so like, what we noticed was he didn't get bulky, but his
Hmm.
muscles were very supple. And then you really only got to see how big he was when he would flex.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it developed a whole different aesthetic.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you once your body acclimatizes, you don't lose strength. That's the one thing, what I'm saying, that I want to kind of get at. You
Yep.
don't lose the strength.
Facts.
But
I was gonna
go
say
ahead.
to piggyback off that, that's what shocked me the most, man. When I would be off of fast and I would still have strength to work out and lift weights, I'd be like, wow, I done found something, man. I done found something. When I figured it out, I was like, what in the world? Like even when I was doing my 3 day and even still, I still have energy and I can lift weights. I'd be like, how? And that shocked me the most, man. And I started researching
Mhm.
it and then looking up, ancient times, like our ancestors. They used to go days without eating, but they would be like the most cut up and built people. And I was like, wow, that's how we're supposed to be living. We're not supposed to eat. The more food and stuff you have in your body, you give illnesses and disease and sicknesses an opportunity because that's really how if you don't have nothing in your body start eating off the bad cells. I start reading. I was like, wow. So that's how I'm making this happen. And that's why I went like almost 2 years and I didn't get sick. I used to get like the flu either once a year or stomach viruses. I don't get sick no more. I'm like, wow, it's the fasting. It's the fasting.
Okay.
Yep, yep. So
Yeah.
I learned that.
That's a
Yep.
nice little tidbit right there,
It
man.
is, man, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
And the skin, like I look younger. I go back and look at the pictures when I was overweight and stuff.
Mm.
I'm like, wow, it looked like when I lost weight, it looked like I reversed, like I went down like 18, 19 years old. Like I cut off like 8 to 9 years of my life, man. I was like, this is
Yep.
crazy. So that's what
Yep.
kept me going, that the fasting, it kept me motivated and stuff like that when I learned about the fasting, man. For sure.
Same thing happened to myself and my brother. I mean,
Yep.
me personally, I was never obese,
Right.
but I'm tall, so I carry my weight, so it's sneaky. So like,
Yeah.
I was probably up to like 236, 240,
Right.
but I'm 6'6", but it's not muscle.
Oh, I got
So
you.
you know what I'm saying? It's that skinny fat. And so I lost, man, I went crazy with my weight loss. Like, I
Yeah.
ended up losing 90 pounds total.
Wow.
That was the lowest that I ever got. At
Wow.
6'6", I was like 145 pounds or something like that.
Wow.
Um, and but like, bro, I just wanted to test. Like, I wanted to see what's the limits of this.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Because
Yep.
I just had a lady hit me up yesterday. She was like, whatever. I'm like, 130. I want to lose 20 pounds. Can I do it? Is it healthy for me? I needed to be able to answer those questions. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna push myself. I'm gonna fast until
Yep.
I'm underweight. You know
Right.
what I mean? Just to see, like, can the body do it? Because everybody was telling me, nah, you can't do that. It'll make you sick. You'll die. Blah blah blah.
That's crazy,
But
man.
like you had mentioned earlier, man, you can't listen to other people. Sometimes
You can't.
you gotta just do your own thing.
Yep. Yep.
And I was confident, man. I was confident in what my body could do. So,
For sure.
um,
That's
yeah,
another thing.
it's
It's
just.
the mind, man. The mind is
Mhm,
powerful, man. And our bodies is so powerful to where people don't even understand. So when I try to preach fasting or preach like liquid fast or fasting, people just don't, they can't take it in. They're like, no, that ain't right. My doctor say don't fast, or it's not healthy. I could pass out or stuff like that. I'll be like, you don't understand unless you actually go through it. You don't
mhm.
understand, man. So some people get it and some people don't.
That was actually going to be another
Mhm.
question I was going to ask. Like,
Yep.
so you did everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're
Right.
two years in. You're completely transformed. You out here
Yep.
looking like a NBA player or whatever it is. What, what? How do your friends? How does your family respond? Like, how are people actually responding to this?
Man, it's more of a shocking than like a congratulations type thing. People congratulate me and stuff, but it's more of like shocking,
Mm,
man, because it's like if you didn't, the only thing that helps me prove that this is still me is like my tattoos I have, or I got like a mole. That's it, man. Some
right.
people be like, no way. Like even when I post on social media, they be like, no, that's not him. So I be thinking, I'd be like, wow, if I didn't have these tattoos and stuff like that, or like, certain things you can see, people wouldn't even believe it, man. But people
Yeah.
react more shocked than anything. It'd be like
Hmm.
more of a shocking than anything, for sure, for sure.
We live in the age of deception. I mean, we've always been
Yep,
in the age of deception, but
yep,
you know what I'm saying? Photoshop, deep fakes.
yep,
People
yep,
don't believe anything.
yep.
I told a story of actually this kind of correlates to what I was telling you earlier when I got
Mhm.
down to 145. But I was doing a dry fast. So that's how
Wow.
I lost all that weight. I was actually doing what I call a hybrid fast. So it's dry, water, and juice.
Oh wow,
And after 4 days of dry fasting, I had dropped 20 pounds.
man.
And people like, I literally get comments. People are like, you're lying. Like, that's
Yep,
impossible. You can't drop that much weight. And
yep,
it's just like, no, you don't understand the power of the body.
man. I'm
So
telling you.
so if somebody tells you that they spontaneously healed themselves from this, that, or whatever disease, you're just going to instantly say it's a lie, even though it's been recorded, it's been documented.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
yep.
Like, the body can spontaneously heal, it can spontaneously transform. We
Fact.
just not tapped in like that. So
Yep,
people think it's impossible.
yep. Or they'll hit you with the surgery card. Oh, he had surgery,
Right,
or he had the sleeve, and I'm like, no, you
right.
don't understand the power of fasting. People be saying
Yeah.
like comments, even to this day. What he's leaving out is that he had surgery or he had the gastric bypass. I'm like, you don't understand fasting, man. And then I'll
Yeah.
be trying to tell people like, if you're 400 plus pounds or even 350 plus, you can go days without eating healthy because your body gonna start
Hmm.
eating off of the fat that you already got and using your stored fat for energy. So people
Yep.
don't understand that either. I'm like, they was like, how was you losing 7 pounds a week? Or how, like, there's no way. I'm like, man, you don't understand fasting, man. I'm telling you. And you're working out while you're fasting. So you're almost quadrupling your caloric deficit. And you're at a heavy weight. So you're losing a lot of water weight and stuff like that. But some people get it and some people don't, man. I'm telling you.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When
For
people are
sure.
ready to hear the journey, when they're really ready to absorb it and maybe even apply it,
For
they'll hear
sure.
your message.
Yep.
But you know what I'm saying? You keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep maintaining, because
Absolutely.
the more of us that are out here spitting this message, the more people, it becomes commonplace.
Facts.
So you have a different audience than I do. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So people that you're probably talking to, they probably have never even heard of fasting. Like, they
Facts.
probably are kind of brand new to it,
Yep.
because that was your experience. But like with social media, TikTok and stuff like that, it's becoming more well known.
It
But like
is.
if you go to other countries, everybody fast, man.
Everybody
Like it's not,
fast.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's normal
Skip
in other countries.
meals and everything, man. Then
Yeah,
people they worry about the number on the scale so much and they want it fast. So when you
yeah,
get your mind off of wanting it fast, it actually comes fast. So that's
yeah.
what I learned. I used to do the same thing. I'm like, wow, I want to lose 5 pounds a week, or I want to lose a pound a day. But when you focus on that, you focus on the scale, and that scale don't move. You still got to have
Hmm.
that drive and that consistent, that discipline, and you got to have like that faith. Like, okay, the scale not coming down, but I'm still showing up. It's the baby steps, man. It's the baby
Yeah,
steps for sure.
yeah.
It's definitely the baby
So
steps.
now I got two questions I want to make sure to hit.
Yes, sir.
Your process is a little different from what we teach.
Right.
So I'm curious to know,
Hmm.
like, what is your experience with loose skin?
Right.
Do you have it? Did you minimize it, or what's that been like?
Yeah, so my experience with loose skin, the only place I have loose skin on is my torso because that was the area where I was biggest in. But
Hmm.
everywhere else, man, I don't have no loose skin at all, man. Anything outside my stomach, like my thighs, my legs, my arms, my back, I'm like, wow. But that came into play with the fasting. So the stomach area is the only place that I have like loose skin on, and it's not
Okay.
even that bad. Yep, yep,
Right. So, okay. So I mean, so like, because people, when you lose weight now, if you would
yep.
have lost 200 pounds traditionally,
Right.
you'd have loose skin everywhere
Everywhere.
because and people in that fitness arena, which I'm sure you're familiar with, they it's like, bro, it's part of the process.
Yep.
They don't actually think that you can minimize or eliminate loose skin through your weight loss.
I'm
They think it's
telling you.
you just got to do it or
Yep.
get the surgery.
But where a lot
Okay.
of people go wrong at is they only want to do cardio. That's gonna lean you out. You're gonna have flabby, but that's why I tell the people I coach now, I say go ahead and
Hmm.
start the weight training. Start the weight
Okay.
training ASAP. Because if you just do the cardio and you eating healthy, you're gonna drop weight, but everything is gonna fall. It's just gonna fall down. So that's really why I got into weight training earlier this time. And I started looking it up too. I was like, man, how can I prevent loose skin? That's when the fasting
Hmm.
came into place, the dry fasting, weight training, and stuff like that. So that's what I think helped me out with loose skin the most. I think fasting was 75% of why I don't have loose skin, as much loose skin, and then the weight training that I was doing, the boxing,
Hmm.
anything that requires you to have any resistance is gonna tighten up that loose skin and help you build that muscle. Yes, sir.
So do you fitness train or what's your coaching like right now? What do people, if I come to you, like,
Mhm.
what can I expect?
So you're going to expect me to hold you accountable. So right now I do online accountability coaching. I do want to be a fitness trainer. That's something I think about. Maybe at my own gym, I'll start training people locally. But I do online accountability coaching now to where I create a meal plan for you. I create a workout plan for you. I hold you accountable every day. I'm texting you. You have to send me pictures of your meals. You got to send me a video of your workout results, pictures of your workout results. It's kind of like I'm in your life now. I'm somebody you can come
Mm,
to ask questions like, hey man, um, I'm going through this, or I'm experiencing this, or hey man, is this good to eat? Or hey man, I'm at like the 16-hour fast and I'm struggling. What did you do at your 16-hour mark? So just offer things like that. Yes, sir.
okay. And what is how can people find you? Like, where are you look? You got a website? You on social
Yes.
media? Where you
Yeah,
at?
I'm on social media. So my main platform is YouTube. So I do have a YouTube. It's just Tyshon, Tyshon. I have a YouTube. I have Instagram, TikTok as well. But most of my
Okay.
content posting on Instagram and TikTok, I'll post like workout videos, some motivational videos, things like that. But YouTube is where most of my weight loss content is at, where I do a lot of Q&As. I go live a lot. Um, I do all kinds of content, man, involving weight loss and things like that. But YouTube is going to be my platform that I put most of my attention on for sure.
Okay.
Yes,
Great.
sir.
So I'll add your YouTube
Yep.
in the description for
Appreciate
people to
that.
go and check you out. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Um, do you do any supplementation or anything of that nature?
I'm glad you asked that. So, no supplements. The only supplement I took during my journey was a one men's 1 day vitamin, and I
Okay.
started taking the Goldie gummies, the cranberry ones. And the only reason why I took those is because my main addiction with food is sweets, is sugar.
Mm,
That's why my body is not where I think it could be. Is because here and there I
mm,
got to indulge in sweets here and there. But the Goldie gummies helped me because I would take two of them a day, and it would give me like a sense of like a piece of candy or some type of sugar or sweetness. It was just I look forward to getting to that Goldie gummy every day. And it was the apple cider vinegar gummies. So that's all I did. I used to take a cap full of apple cider vinegar, Goldie gummies, 1 a day vitamins, 1 a day men's vitamins, and that's it, man. The only other
okay.
supplement I ever took was with InnoSups. I did a promo with them where they kind of paid me to create a video, and they
Hmm.
sent me some supplements to try. And I took the Inno Shred, the Fat Burner, and the Vocorn 2000. The
Hmm.
Vocorn 2000 was the one that I took the full amount of. I tried the other ones out, but I didn't. I didn't get into it because I don't like kind of get into supplements. But the Vocorn 2000 is the one that kind of helped me because it's hard for me to start sweating. Like the more
Okay.
weight I lost, it kind of became hard for me to start sweating. So that's why I work out in hoodies,
Mm.
sauna shirts, sweatpants, because it takes me a long time to build up a sweat versus before I would start sweating within 5 to 10 seconds. So the Vocorn helped me out because it would help me start sweating quicker. But that's other than that, man, during my early stage, the first 2 years, that was it, man. Just me and 1 a day vitamin. And then I did Goldie gummies here and there. That's it.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking. So, like, I'm listening to your journey. I'm like, man,
Mhm.
you will really benefit from some long term fasting.
For sure,
Um,
man. I know I
it
would.
would help with so when it comes to cravings, like I used to I didn't have a like a big addiction to sugar or anything like
Mhm.
that, but I would get these cravings every once in a while. I had to have a candy bar.
Yeah.
I used to do half a gallon of ice cream every week. So it's on my
Wow.
grocery list. I'd buy a half a gallon every week.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I'm having a pizza a week. So it wasn't it was more habit for me, but it was also like a little bit of like addiction as well.
For sure.
And when I started doing my long-term fasting, cut it out.
Yep.
And you actually experience the craving for that food
For
when
sure.
you're fasting, but then like once that craving is gone, you've kind of expelled that chemical from the body
It's
and
over.
you don't crave it. It's
It's
over.
it's crazy
You
you said that, man. Oh, not to cut you off. My fault, bro.
you good? Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was gonna say it's crazy you said that, man, because the longer you go without something you're addicted to, the more you don't even want it no more. Like sweets. If I go when I do eat sweets, I want it every day because it's like, dang, I gotta have something sweet today. But when I get
Mm-hmm.
to that I say that 10 day mark without it, it's like, wow, I don't even want it no more. And I call it like kind of like resetting your taste buds. It's like what you do consistently, your body gonna want it because you making yourself dependable on it. But when I go like let's say if today I had like 2 oatmeal cookies, tomorrow I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna want it. The next day I'm gonna want it. But once I go that 10th, between that 10th and 15th day without it, I don't even want it at all, man. And it's crazy that you
Mm-hmm.
said that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, fasting just intensifies it, you know what I'm
It
saying?
does.
And so yeah, man, it's I'm gonna plant the seed.
For
Like
sure.
I think that you know what you've accomplished so far is incredible, but you could take it to another
I
level
know,
and
man.
it'll get rid of some of the stuff you're struggling with,
It will.
you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know, just a little 2 cents from me.
Yeah. Appreciate it. I
Um
needed that, man, because I know like I'm kind of where I kind of exceeded, my expectations by 10, but it's to the point to where you ain't I'm probably about 70% there. It's if I can go that extra 30% with discipline and consistency and with fasting,
mhm.
man, there's no telling like how I can get. And I got there at one point when I got down about 195. I wasn't addicted to food at all. I was working out 1 to 2 times a day. I was
Yeah.
doing like 72-hour fruit fast at least twice a month. I was only having like
Mhm.
one cheat day every other month, and that's when I was like the best version of myself. But if I can get, like
Yeah.
you said, man, if I can really get into that fasting and get into it like how I'm supposed to do, I know I can really take it there for sure, for sure. If I can.
100%,
Yep,
man.
yep,
100%.
yep, absolutely.
So, I wanted to give you a chance to kind of like give some closing thoughts, anything that maybe I didn't touch on, anything
Okay.
that you want to add, or, whatever you want to talk about.
Um, I just got I do got a question for you. Do you deal with any addictions that hinders you from like your wealth or your I mean not wealth, your health journey, like with the fasting? Is it still some things you addicted to, and how do you prevent those addictions?
So, me personally,
Hmm.
I never had like any strong addictions.
That's good.
My brother Steve
Yeah.
did. He had a lot of strong addictions. So, as a brand and as a whole, we talk about it because he tells his story. But um, the way that he was able to kind of get over his strong addictions was really it was alcohol. The
Mm,
thing is, what we found out is alcohol was a coping mechanism. It wasn't the main driving force. It wasn't the reason why.
right.
What was going on is his life was in tatters. You know what I'm saying? He was dealing with severe depression.
Mm,
He wasn't happy with his body. He wasn't happy with his outcomes. And so focusing on enhancing your life, like, so you start with yourself. That's important. But
right.
also then as you start to interact,
Right.
reacclimate to the world, you have to increase your quality of living,
For sure.
whatever that looks like for you. You know what I mean? So you can't be living paycheck to paycheck. You
Yeah.
can't be getting into relationships with women that are detracting or toxic.
Fact.
You have to focus on some type of spirituality. I'm
That's
not
it.
saying go out be religious or whatever, but I'm saying like you have to have a connectedness to nature and you know that internal voice.
For sure.
And so working on those parts of yourself along with the physical, right? And it's more of a holistic approach. That's what's been the most successful for us and with our clients and our community.
Fact.
Like you got to just approach it with the right mindset. What I do is I reel people in with the weight loss.
Yep.
I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying? This person lost 100 pounds. This person lost 200 pounds. So they're like, oh, I want to lose that weight. Then once they're in the community, we give them tools. It's like, oh, by the way, do the shadow work. You know what I mean? Talk to yourself, motivate yourself,
Mm,
learn to be your biggest advocate, and then think about like what am I doing right now? If like this decision I'm making, if it's not going to help me get to my goals, I'm not going to go this way. You
facts.
know what I'm saying? Like it's important to have an idea of like what it is I want to accomplish. And then once you know exactly what it is, it's like, okay, is what I'm doing in this moment going to get me there or is it going to detract?
Fact.
So then it's like, you have a little bit more accountability.
You do.
But to be honest, man, the biggest impact, it was fasting
It was,
because
man.
fasting's the cheat.
It is.
Like so what I did deal with was depression.
Right.
My depression was way more prominent than my food addiction.
Right.
And like, it was like I just had a rain cloud over me. So when I started fasting, the rain cloud, it was like literally the sun just started peeking through and just broke up the rain cloud.
Everything
It was
starts going well.
my whole
Yep.
man, my whole outlook on life changed.
Yep. Yep.
Like my, I don't have a day, not an entire day where I'm like, man, dang, man, like the day's just not going well. Like life's not good. The world is crazy. I don't have an entire day of that. Back then, man, I had days like that all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So um that long-term fasting will help correct things,
It
even if you
will.
don't know that it's a problem.
It
Because
will.
I didn't know I was depressed,
Yep.
to be
Yep.
honest.
Yep.
Yeah.
It will, man. I'm glad you said that, man. The spiritual part of it and the affirmation and what you speak and talking to yourself, man. When you're on the weight loss journey, for anybody watching this, you have to talk to yourself, man. You got to look in the mirror and say, like, hey, I'm going to the gym, or hey, I'm not going to do this. You got to communicate with yourself and come in one with yourself. And the fasting does help that for sure, because you're going to realize that most of the things you were doing when you're not fasting is you was eating. So when you take
Right.
yourself away and respect yourself and to start fasting and not eating, you're gonna have a lot more time to like really tap into to yourself, because you're gonna have to like meditation, speaking to yourself, journaling, all of those things is gonna help with that weight loss. It gives you that faith. You start visualizing like how you want your body to look or how this
Mm-hmm.
gonna go, and it's just powerful, man. The fasting is powerful. It's the
100%.
cheat code, man, for sure. Sure, for
Chico.
sure.
People always want the cheat,
Yep,
man. We
yep,
figured it out.
yep. It's the
Like
fasting. It's the
it's
fasting.
crazy, but
Yep,
it's like because it's not packaged the way they want, they still resist it.
yep.
Oh,
They
my
do.
doctor said this. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, nah. But I forgot who
Yeah.
said it. But we don't never check with doctors when we do something bad though. Like if we want to drink
Yeah.
alcohol or smoke something or do something we know we're not supposed to do. But when we somebody telling us it's something that's gonna help us, oh, we want to
Yeah.
go ask the doctor about that. And it's like, come
Yeah.
on, man. But yeah, man, the
It's-
fasting is definitely where it's at, man, for sure, for sure. It changed my life. Fasting changed my life, man.
And I'm
Absolutely.
sure that your journey and your experience and like what you share on your
For
platform
sure.
is also transforming other people's lives.
It is.
And so, you become a beacon in the community.
For
I
sure.
appreciate, what it is that you do,
Yes,
your
sir.
heart to help other people, because, sometimes we get a little cheat code, we keep it to ourselves.
We do.
Like, think about it like this. So we're both in the YouTube world. We know we get sponsorships, promotions, whatever,
Right,
right?
right.
You could literally, if you were like, let's say you was 400 pounds, you lost 200 pounds, you could literally do that, create a platform, garner attention from the advertisers, and then just start promoting products that
Yep.
then had nothing to do with
Yep.
what, right?
Yep. Somebody.
And
Yep.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say somebody. I got a lot of offers to do that. We'll be talking good to where it's just like, okay, just create a promo video about the supplement. Then they'll try to switch it and say, well, we need you to say this is how you lost. I was like, no, I can't do that because most of my subscribers already know I didn't take supplements. So you can go ahead
Mhm.
and go the other way. If I promote a supplement, I'm just gonna tell them the facts on this supplement and things like that. I'm not gonna never tell them, hey, take this or buy this. I'm only gonna promote this supplement and tell them the facts on the supplement and things like that. And I would only promote
Mhm.
like natural supplements. But yeah, man, that's you hit it right on the head with that for sure.
Yeah, I
Yep.
already know. But I got them in my inbox now.
Yep.
They hit me up weekly.
Yep,
You know
yep,
what I'm
yep,
saying?
yep. And that's one
Yeah.
of the things I always said I wouldn't be able to do. But if I can go back, I would have definitely documented more. But I never saw myself as to like being a vessel or, help people do it until I did it. And I was looking around on Instagram and I would see people trying to lose weight. And I'd be like, wow, they don't know nothing about fasting. They don't know nothing
Yeah.
about I gotta create a platform to where I tell them how I did this, man. And that's one
Mhm.
of the things that I'm most happy about, man, is just me being able to tell my story and let people know that I was you. I was just like you. Like I did
Mhm.
it. You can do it. Like you gotta fast though. There's some people that was successful without fasting, so they say. I still think everybody that lost weight definitely fasted. They just don't share it or they don't know they was fasting.
They don't realize,
They didn't
yeah.
realize it, but I'm pretty sure they
Mhm.
skipped meals and they went days without eating and keeping themselves from food. They just don't preach
Mhm.
it as how they supposed to. But the fasting is
Yeah.
definitely where it's at, man. Definitely for sure.
Yeah. It's actually funny you say that, man. We
Mm-hmm.
had a member of our community
Mm-hmm.
actually who was learning about fasting,
Yep.
lost a whole bunch of weight. I don't remember, let's just say 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Started teaching, right?
Wow.
Telling what they did to lose the weight and would not mention fasting.
Wow.
And it's just like, yeah, I just went to the gym and you know what I'm saying, I didn't eat that much. And it was like really like, bro, you're in the community. You know you was
Yep. You
fasting,
already
but
know.
you don't want to give fasting the credit for some reason. It was
That's
weird.
messed up, man.
Yeah.
Like everybody that subscribed
Um,
to me, they already know. I preach it. That's the first thing I preach. I always say the mental first, come in control of your mental, your mind, but you gotta fast. If you
mhm.
really want this thing, man, and you want other perks and benefits from the weight loss, you gotta fast, man. Fasting will change your
Mhm.
life. I always preach that. That's all I
Yeah.
preach, man, is the fasting for sure, for sure. Yes, sir.
Excellent, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, listen, this has been incredible,
It
man.
has, man.
I really
Needed it.
I really like your spirit. Your journey is off the charts. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
sir.
Keep moving forward. Keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna break through. You know what I mean? You're gonna go to the next level. Look, man,
Absolutely.
I've been doing this for what 10 almost 10 years, like on my personal journey.
Yeah.
So you're always learning, you're always adapting, you know
For
what I mean?
sure.
So
When did you start
yeah.
the YouTube and stuff like that?
I started my YouTube channel in you could basically say the beginning, literally like January 1st of 2017.
Okay, okay. So you've been in a couple of years. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, but
So,
like I went through my whole journey. Like you know what I'm saying, I got myself to a certain place
mhm.
first, and then I was basically like you.
Right.
I'm like, man, I gotta tell people,
Yep,
you
yep,
know?
yep.
So that's when I started putting it out on YouTube. And but it just so happened I had a little notebook
Mhm.
because like probably back in 2009, I got laid off from my job. I was working at Amazon, and I decided to start my own business.
Right.
And in that process of starting my own business, I got a notebook and I was just like writing goals down
Wow.
and, learning about the new business that I was like, I'm learning and I'm writing, I'm taking notes. It
Yep.
was the first time I ever like took notes for myself, like
Wow.
outside of school,
Yes, sir.
you know? And when I reflected on that, I noticed that not only did I learn more efficiently, but I also destroyed my goals.
Yep.
Like all my timelines, all my goals, like I beat all my timelines, and I attributed part of that to the fact that I wrote it down.
Right.
You know,
That's dope, man.
so when I started doing my fitness thing, I was like, let me document this. Let me set my goals, blah blah blah. And so I had that. And you know what I'm saying? In my first video, I think my first video, you see me, I got my notebook in my hand, I'm reading
Right,
because I
right.
just took notes every day.
Yes, sir.
But
Absolutely, man.
bro, it's been incredible, you know what I'm saying, spending this time with you.
Yeah,
We can
man.
continue to stay in contact,
For
interact, you
sure.
know what I mean? I'm always open to collaborations. You want me to come on your platform, whatever the case may be,
That'll be dope.
you know,
Yep.
hey man, we
Yeah,
looking to help
a
people.
lot of my subscribers, a couple, they say, "Hey, man, you need to reach out to Chris James," and they would put your like post and stuff on my pages. One of my subscribers, I think you recently interviewed him, Diamond's Life, Anthony or Les.
Yep,
Yep,
Anthony
he used to
Grimes, yep.
talk about you all the time, man. He come on my live and said, "Man, you need to get with Chris James," or so. He talk about fasting and stuff like that, man. So
Yeah,
it's timing is everything, man. So I couldn't have wanted to do this at a better timing than now, man. So it
for
was a dope
sure.
conversation, bro. Thanks for letting me on your platform, man, and having this conversation. This was like a therapy session and stuff like that, man. So much appreciated, bro. Much needed, man. For sure, for sure.
Oh, you're very welcome, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we'll stay in touch, like I said.
Absolutely. And I forget, well, I know we mentioned it, but I do got a YouTube channel. Anybody watching this, come check out my channel, subscribe. That'd be much appreciated, man, for sure.
What's the name of your channel?
It's Tyshon, so it's Tyshon. It's Tyshon. After you put in that, you can put weight loss behind it, and it'll take you right to my page,
Okay.
and things of that nature. Yes, sir. And then whenever you upload this, I'll comment on it and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure.
Man,
Yeah.
appreciate you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they'll be able to come to it and stuff like that, man. But appreciate you,
Okay.
man, for letting
They'll
me
be
on your
looking for you.
platform. Yeah, appreciate this,
My
man.
pleasure.
This was big, bro. Much appreciated. And I'll
Hey,
definitely
my
stay in
pleasure.
contact with you for sure.
All
Yes,
right, sounds
sir.
good.
Yes, sir.
If you all enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time.